everyone's doing good. How are we? We're back. Again. Surprise, surprise. Who could have predicted this turn of events? Hello, hello. Let's hop right into it. Boom. Oh yeah, I forgot we left up on this line. Arrested for murder on the very same day he's declared innocent of larceny. It happens, Phoenix, it happens. What the heck's gonna happen next? Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh, I should've just finished those lines. I didn't realize that was the literal end of the chapter there. Okay. It's fine, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Boom. October 13th, 3:02 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. You know, I'm glad we found the urn and all, but poor Mr. Delight got arrested again. Well, supposedly Mr. Delight was in the CEO's office when the murder occurred. No way, Jose. I don't buy it.
But the one who proved that Mr. Delight was there was Mr. Nick himself. At least, from what I can understand.
I bet it was Larry. Looks like you did too good of a job this time, Nick. Well, how about we get started looking into the KB security murder?
I think I'm gonna head back to Karine Village for a little while, if that's alright.
Yeah, let's not drag a 9-year-old around for a murder case, you know? Probably not a good idea. She's already seen way too much, you know. Way too much. Sure, but why?
I'm gonna bring the secret urn back and have some people take a look at it.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll go with...
No! Mystic Maya, you should stay here. I want you two to spend some special quality time together, full of love and happiness.
Okay, Pearl. Pearls is so caught up in her fantasy, she forgot to... There's a murder to solve. Sacred urn given to Pearls.
Now remember, no fighting, okay?
She's gone. Okay, Nick. Time to get going on this murder investigation. So, what do we do now? Isn't it obvious? We should get out of there and investigate the murder. Well, first, we need to find out exactly where KB Security is located.
Hey, why don't we ask Miss Delight? She should know.
Besides, I want to ask her some stuff about motorcycles. Motorcycles? You're not thinking of getting one, are you? You're not the same little Maya who used to be happy with her dinky little bike, Nicky boy. Speaking of asking around, I've got a few questions of my own for Mr. Delight. Okay, well, let's make sure to go to the detention center, too. Sacred Urn. You must be relieved we got the Sacred Urn back, huh? You bet. But there's something a little different about it. It looks better. Don't me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this. It clearly says, I am on the urn in the poster. But the urn we got back says Ami, like it always used to. Oh yeah, you're right. Plus, the vase has pink splotches on it now. I'm sure they weren't there before. Aya doesn't know, but 1 year ago when the urn was broken, the repairer accidentally turned Mystic Ami's name into I am. Yes, we've discussed this. We've discussed this. And that repairer was one mechanically unskilled Little Pearls. But still, I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it.
Is it possible that urn is a fake?
I'm sure Pearls will... One sec. I'm sure Pearls will find out once she gets back to Karine Village. Yeah, I suppose. Now that I think about it, Maya hasn't been back to Karine Village in a long time. So, I guess people still go to Karine Village to do their training, right?
Yep. If you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training.
So, why haven't you been training lately, Maya?
Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that.
A channeling dojo, huh? Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is.
If you're going to train, you have to be serious. Otherwise, real tragedies can happen.
Is what happened last year still bothering you?
Nick, I don't want to get kidnapped again, okay?
Stop bringing... Oh, no. She's talking about the murder. Of course, the other traumatic event that happened to her. Sorry, not the kidnapping. The murder. That murder in her village happened because the power of channeling was misused.
When a medium uses the Karine technique, she temporarily loses her own will.
So when an especially strong spirit is summoned, the spirit medium can get taken over and even forced to commit terrible crimes. What's worse, in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened. Ooh. That murder, it wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you? I suppose not, but I guess I'm still a bit shaken up, that's all. Sounds like being the master of Karine is gonna be a heavy responsibility. Dang. Dang. Let's go to his hideout. Why not? Not just because I want to see my wife. I mean, my not wife. Oh, Nicky boy, Maya. Miss Delight. All I wanted to do was help my dear Ronnie. Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting his case.
Don't say that, Nick. She doesn't need your help beating herself up.
Hey, Nicky boy, please. Please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie wouldn't hurt a fly. Alright, I'll poke around and see what I can find out. Really? Are you serious? Oh, I'm so happy. I knew asking you for help was the right thing to do. I don't know what I can do to help anymore. I had no idea Miss Delight had such a vulnerable side. Alright. What can you tell me about Ron Delight? Listen carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never, ever kill anyone. It's just not in him.
I don't think he would either, Nick.
Yeah, but you have to admit, he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not that hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, "Please die!"
He would never say that.
Hello.
Anyway, Mr. Light, he may not be a killer, but he's still going around saying that he's a thief.
I already told you, that's just a fantasy for him. Mr. Light, I hate to say it, but you're the one living in a fantasy world. What? How dare you say that to me, Nicky boy? I know everything about my Ronnie. We don't have any secrets between us. Ronnie isn't the thieving type. He's so honest that he wouldn't even sneak a nap. He's so honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. A thief? Ha! The very idea. I guess I just don't get it yet.
Huh? Get what?
I just can't understand how they can be so different and yet be such a happy couple.
Yeah, they sure are different.
Come on now, Nicky boy.
It's not that mysterious, is it?
It was love at first sight. For me, anyway.
What? For you? You fell in love with him?
I hate these kinds of people more than anything.
You mean ace detectives?
No, I'm fine with ace detectives.
Oh, so then you must mean thieves?
No, they're alright too. I just hate thieves that pretend to be ace detectives. The one time. There's nothing I hate more than cowardly men. Hello, I got a stabbing back pain for no reason, so I'll come and hang out here. Whoa, I'm so sorry. Hope you feel better, but thanks for hanging out.
By the way, why did you go to Detective Atmey's office anyway?
Well, as the trial went on, I started to get more and more anxious. I went there to try to find out more about the real criminal.
The real criminal?
Yeah, obviously the real Mask the Mask is not my Ronnie, right?
Yeah?
And Detective Atmey knew more about Mask the Mask than anyone else. They mentioned him on the Great People Around Town segment on TV. So then, you went there to ask him some questions? That's right. I'll do whatever it takes to save my man. His secretary said, the ace detective isn't in right now. She's so cool. She's literally the coolest character ever. I love her so much. But I forced my way past her and into his hideout. I wouldn't exactly call that office of his a hideout. That bag was sitting right there on top of the table.
Oh yeah, we saw that bag there yesterday too.
She looks really cool, not gonna lie, yeah. Her character design is awesome, and she's just cool. I just love her. She's so cool. There's nothing lower than someone who would try to pin the crime on someone else. Very Sigma.
Mr. Light, do you know about KB Security?
Don't be silly. Of course I do. That's where my Ronnie works. So she thinks he still works there, huh? And yet, according to what we heard today... Come on. Don't tell me you didn't know. Ron DeLight was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. OMG, wait, Godot? What? Ron quit. He doesn't work there anymore.
Looks like Mr. Light doesn't know.
Godot looks so cool in my bed. I know! He's literally the coolest. Literally the coolest. He looks- I love his design so much. I think he's so cool. KB Security is only about 20 minutes away, by motorcycle that is. Larry told me it takes 30 minutes by car. Oh my god, what was that front-facing phoenix? I know! Look at him. It's so cursed. It's weird to see him like that. Like, dude, you gotta turn your head. Well, I have to admit, I tend to fly pretty fast on my bike. To make it to KV Security that fast, are you sure you aren't literally flying? They use the symmetry ruler. Why don't I give you a ride sometime? Or better yet, how about now? No, I'll pass, thanks. Why don't you just tell us where it is and we'll go ourselves?
What a scaredy cat you are, Nick.
Mr. Light told us the location of KB Security.
Okay, let's head over there right away, Nick.
Okay, fine. Jeez, fine. Tell me about your love at first sight, though.
So was it really love at first sight when you first met Mr. Delight?
Well, maybe not at first sight, but Ronnie saved my life. I would not trust Larry at all, yeah.
Saved your life? I was at work one day when 2 robbers suddenly rushed in. Well, I'm not the kind to just curl into a little ball in a corner, so I fought back.
Robbers?
Yeah, they took me hostage. It happens, you know. I was so frightened. They were both carrying these huge knives, and I broke down into tears.
Yeah, I would too if I were in that situation.
Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. Delight come running to save you? Yeah, exactly. I remember he looked so handsome in that guard uniform of his. He went right up to those 2 knife-wielding robbers and screamed in their faces. Please, stop it! He screamed. I could see the robbers' faces turn pale.
That high-pitched shriek of his does have a surprisingly strong effect on people. What is that guy's mask? I know it's so cursed.
Then crying and swinging his arms like crazy, attacked the 2 robbers.
All by himself. He came to save me. A total stranger. All by himself. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking, but he still risked his life for me.
Wow, that's a great story.
Yes, he may not look it, but in a tough situation, there's no one better.
That's why I fell in love with him like I did.
That's so romantic. I'd fall in love too, I guess. Okay, Phoenix.
Nick, I hope you'll do the same for me. If I ever get taken hostage,
You have been taken hostage. That has happened. With Maya, that possibility always seems to loom in the not-so-distant future. It literally happened. Last year, she was taken hostage. Okay, Phoenix, stop dreaming. You ain't kidding a woman. Earth to Maya, this has already happened. We've already been there. So, I guess this is where it all went down, huh?
the walls in here look thick, just like you'd expect in a CEO's office.
What does that got to do with anything? Hey, it's you guys. Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe. Today was a real train wreck for you guys, huh?
Sure was, pal. That prosecutor made real fools out of us.
Yeah, I feel for you.
Wow, that's not like you at all. I thought you'd be more like, oh, that was great. You guys got what you deserved, pal. Or something to that effect.
Do I really sound like that to you, pal?
If the gumshoe fits.
Well, anyway. The point is, I can tell when someone puts their heart into their jobs. And I can sympathize when things don't go your way. Sometimes I feel like wrong is the only way for things go for us detectives.
Wow.
I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy. Maya, stop bullying my green semi-truck. Now, if this little love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. Alright, how's it going?
Detective Gumshoe, tell us what you know about the murder. Did you do it? Are you the killer?
Okay. But the thing is, I'm not really supposed to.
Hey, come on. What about we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now. We need help.
Okay, I'll tell you. Just don't stop crying on me, okay, pal?
Okay, I won't cry on you, pal.
The victim's name is Kane Bullard. He was the CEO of KB Security and a pretty big fella in his own right. His corpse was discovered at 9 this morning. His estimated time of death was 1 in the morning on October 12th. Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Probably an object in this room. Comes you shut up for the last 300 cases. You've told us all the information. It happened at exactly the same time that Master Mask was stealing the urn. Huh. I got flagged again. I'm a criminal. No. Alright, October 12th at 1 a.m. Caused cerebral hemorrhaging from blunt force trauma to the head.
So why did it take almost an entire day to discover the body?
There's a good explanation for that one. Bullet's body was stashed away inside that safe.
Safe? Well, it is pretty big.
Nobody had heard from him, and when they opened the safe this morning, out he came. Oh, so the body fell out? That white string must be the shape from when he fell out.
I think we still need some more information about Mr. Billiard.
Maybe you could start by getting the man's name right? God, Maya. God, Maya! Get his name right!
So, what happened to Master Mask?
He's at the detention center, screaming like a madman. Investigate me again! He keeps yelling. No, I didn't mean him. He's not the real thief anyway, right? Oh, you mean that detective at me? Ho ho ho! Oh, that was great. That guy got what he deserved.
Now that's the detective I know and love.
Think about it. Atme was always around when a calling card showed up, but he always mysteriously disappeared when the heist took place. I was hiding at the crime scene. Heh, yeah, right. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just know he was the thief. That would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen item he keeps bragging about. Yeah, he just did that to make himself look like a great detective, that's all. But there's this one thing I can't figure out about this first heist. His first heist? Yeah, the Tear of Emanon case. There was a witness on that one.
A witness?
Yeah, I saved the newspaper clipping. Since the thief was already under arrest, you guys can keep it. How would that 10-foot-long nose fit in the mask? That's so true.
Hey, this guard here, haven't I seen him somewhere before?
It's pretty small, so it's kind of hard to see, but now that she mentions it... Tell me about Godot, please. Oh, that prosecutor, I really don't like that guy. Oh, Maya, I'm so afraid. I'd have to disagree. You see, I think he's pretty awesome. His nose is literally the depth of his face. His nose grew that long after lying so much that he isn't Master Mask.
The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. Delight.
Yeah, I think he did it that way just because he knew it'd hurt more. That's what my gut tells me anyway. So, who is that Java-addicted masked maniac anyway? Prosecutor Godot? He's quite the enigma, huh? The thing is, pal, I never even heard of the guy before. He just showed up one day at the prosecutor's office. Came out of nowhere. That's where he said this was his first case as a prosecutor. And it's true, according to the records anyway. But, no way he's an amateur. He's an Iceman in court. A maverick that gives me goosebumps.
Goosebumps? You?
Yeah, I knew something was off about him, so I asked around. Nobody would talk to me. They all just turned the other way.
Poor Detective Gumshoe. I had no idea you were so unpopular.
Maya. No, that's not what I meant. That Godot guy acts like he knows me and has a grudge against me. I get the feeling he's hiding some kind of dark secret. He's so mysterious. This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I would have thought.
Hey, that looks like a super soft chair. Let me try it out just for a second.
Ooh, nice. I feel just like a CEO.
Hey, you, whip me up a cup of some really expensive import tea and some scones. Move it. Ah, this is the life.
The victim sat in that chair just before he was brutally killed, you know.
Ah! Ooh, there's a button here. Let's see.
Oh. Hey, cut it out. Don't press that.
That's pretty funny. I never knew Detective Gumshoe could jump like that.
What is that button anyway? It's an emergency buzzer. It says it right there on the panel. Can't you read?
Oops. You're right. It's written right there. Nick, how many times have I told you to read the instructions first?
This alarm's connected to the basement guard room. It's used to summon security up here. Really? Then it's possible on the night of the crime.
Oh, so when the CEO was attacked...
I almost fell asleep and then I got woken up by that noise. Oh no.
Do you think that maybe he pressed the buzzer?
Yeah, I thought about that. So I asked around down there, but they said that the buzzer never went off that night. Also, we couldn't find any fingerprints on the buzzer. Mr. Bullard, the victim, wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way, just so you know. I think we'd better go and talk to that guard about this emergency buzzer. Connected to the basement security guard office, there are no fingerprints on it. Interesting. Check out this big, thick binder here.
Leave the heavy lifting to me, Nick.
That button literally could have set off a dangerous weapon. Maya could have killed them all. Reading a file isn't exactly backbreaking work, just a little hard on the eyes. Oh, no reading. Ah.
What did you find out, Nick?
This file, it's not about any sort of security operations or anything. This huge file is all about Mask the Mask. It's filled with info on him.
What? What kind of info?
It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods in the crime scenes.
Oh, hey, Nick. Look at the last page.
It's a list. Let's see. Tier Vemenon, $100,000. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Mask the Mask stole.
So then $100,000 is the value of the stolen item?
I don't know, that number sounds kind of low to me. Okay, Phoenix. I think I'd better secretly make a copy of this list. King's list added to the court record. Interesting. Tier Vemenon, jewel, $100,000. Crown of Bangora, artifact, $150,000. Left hand of Hades, sculpture, $240,000. Portrait of Magina, painting, $500,000. Interesting.
Ew, think about it. A dead guy was laying in here all night.
Yeah, oh, by the way, don't bother asking about fingerprints. There were none. Well, somebody opened this safe on the night of the crime, right?
Yeah, and so?
Well, if Mr. Bullard's body was hidden in here, it must mean that it was opened by either the killer or the victim, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Got some bad news for you, pal. Are you ready? Okay, shoot. Opening this baby is no piece of cake. There are only a few people who know how to open this safe, pal. Yeah, and everyone that knows how to open this safe had airtight alibis, I checked. Everyone except one, that is. I'm almost afraid to ask. Former security chief, Ron DeLight.
What? Ron DeLight? He was a security chief?
Ron? So he knew how to open the safe, huh? Yeah, sorry for raining on your parade there, pal. Let's talk about Mask the Mask. I always knew there was something suspicious about this guy. And I was right. Turned out that the mask was really that ace detective in disguise.
You really thought that?
Huh? Of course. It's the stone cold truth. Sooner or later, a guy like that always shows his true colors. Yeah, well, I think we saw a little too much of his colors today. Yeah, gotta agree with you on that one. What about the victim?
Detective Gumshoe, tell us more about Mr. Shane Bluebard.
That's Kane Bullard, not Shane Bluebard, pal.
Oh, yeah. The victim in this case just doesn't make much of an impression on me. I don't really care for him. I'm kind of glad he died.
Wow, Maya. Well, you were the victim up until Mr. Bullard was found dead. Yeah, and his body wasn't discovered until this morning. Anyway, we don't have enough information yet. Can you help us out? Sorry, I'm actually a little confused myself. For some reason, I'm just blabbing like an idiot right now.
Okay, Nick. Now's our chance to get more info about the victim, so hurry up and ask.
Okay, fine, I will. Can you tell us some more about Mr. Bullard?
He was the CEO of KB Security, right? What kind of company is it anyway?
Well, the company basically sends security teams out to the buildings to guard them. Mr. Bullard must have had the chance to learn a lot of secrets doing this kind of work. Oh, and I don't know how to put this, but the guy was kind of a money grubber.
Really? Me too. I just love money. I can't ever get enough.
Okay, Maya. Please stop leaning in towards me like that. You aren't getting to my wallet. Anyway, looks like he did some pretty shifty stuff to earn his millions.
Oh, so that's my problem. I need to be shiftier.
Let me go already. Apparently, he was involved in selling trade secrets between rival companies.
Ooh, that's pretty dirty and underhanded.
Yeah. Oh, KB Security used the head security operations against Master Mask.
What? Really?
Yeah, and after screwing up so many times, the company's reputation really took a nosedive. It really was Bullard who sent Ron the blackmail letter, huh? Interesting. Oops. And that's... Oh, no. Let's move. Oh, that's new. Oh, boy. This room has a lot in it. This room is very overwhelming to the eyes. Wow, this is really something else.
For a security guard office, it sure doesn't feel very secure.
KV security guard. Uh-oh, I just remembered. Larry might be... Hey, Nick! What's up? It's Larry. Oh, so he is here. Yo, how's it hanging, dude? So you got my sweet little Maya with you, too.
Hi, Larry.
Here I was, working my fingers to the bone. And in walks an angel. I've got no problems with a daytime date. It's all good. No, that's not what we're here for. We're investigating the Bullard murder case. Huh? Oh yeah, that's right. You're a lawyer, aren't you? He's so hopelessly clueless. Well, if it's about the murder case, boy, have I got some good info for you.
Really? What is it?
Well, I don't mind sharing with my sweet little Maya, but Nick here is a different story.
But Larry, I thought you two were old school buddies.
That was then, and this is now. Okay. Let me look around first. That's my partner's seat. Your partner? Well, that's what I call her. She's my superior, actually. Kind of a weird old lady. Oh, no. There's tea spilled all over that machine, you know. Oh, don't worry about it. Just the other day, I spilled some chocolate milk on mine. It still works fine, more or less. They really know how to build them, I guess. Oh, jeez. Something is written on this poster in fine print.
A guard's 5 commandments? Wow, this sounds serious. Let's see what it says.
Number 1, obey thy superior. Number 2, respect thy superior. Number 3, smile at thy superior.
Number 4, salute thy superior. 5, buy donuts for thy superior upon command. It's signed Wendy Oldbag, head supervisor. No, not her. Not again. She's one tough old bird, let me tell you. Cross her and you come face to face with her real, genuine ray gun. Yeah, sounds scary, alright. Well, fortunately she's on vacation. That's why I'm so relaxed right now. Oh, thank God she's on vacation. Hey, Larry, that's your jacket, isn't it? That's right. Did you know that you hung it right on top of some kind of lever? Yeah, sure. I was told to never ever touch that lever. She scowled and huffed at me. Something terrible will happen if you do. Got it, Greenhorn? So why hang your jacket on such an important lever? Because it got me curious. If the jacket's weight pulls the lever down, that's what they call an accident. Doesn't the suspense just kill you? Don't you want to know what'll happen, huh? No! It's true. It's killing me too. What about you, Nick? Yeah, but for a different reason. Okay. Wow, take a look at these things here. Hey Larry, what are they? Did you just say Hey man, it's not like I have to know what they are to do my job. Oh my God. I always thought they were just some kind of decoration or something. Oh boy. How did this guy ever get a job here anyway? Those screens there show what's going on all over the building, everywhere. And it's my job to keep a steady eye on them. All of them. I wouldn't sound so smug if I were you. Can you watch regular TV on these too? If anyone would sit here and watch TV instead of working, it's Larry. Hey, Maya, I'm a pro, okay? Besides, you can't get regular TV on it. And how do you know that, Larry? That code's hanging on a very important lever, isn't it? Yeah, 100%. Because that was my first bit of investigation, if you know what I mean. I know what you're thinking. It was a professional investigation, all right. Okay. Oh. That's my workstation. Pretty cool, huh? I keep a steady eye on the monitors and use that mic for communicating. Look at all this equipment. It must be hard to operate. No biggie. I think there's an instruction manual somewhere in this room. Somewhere? Instruction manual? What are you gonna do in an emergency? Well, I guess I'd start by calmly looking for the instruction manual. During that time, my partner, the old lady, would calmly look for her reading glasses. That's what us security professionals call teamwork. Even Maya and Pearl's could run this place better. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Okay. Is there anything else that needs to be examined in here? Okay. One second. So what's this good info you were talking about, Larry? Hey, I'm a guard. A pro. I can't just give away information for free. He wants a bribe? I thought professionals more, I don't know, honest? You talk to him, Maya. Larry, tell us already. What's the good info? Hey, I like that. This kitten has got some claws. Okay, you really want to know? Yes, so tell me. Okay, so the thing is, Rhonda Light was an employee here. And naturally, since I'm a pro, I looked into his background. Follow me? Yes, you're a pro. I follow you. Go on. Well, 1 year ago, Rhonda Light was fired. And there was no warning at all. It just happened all of a sudden.
I know this is a small company, but I think that was pretty awful.
I guess he must have done something bad to have gotten fired like that.
Like, maybe skipping out of work to go pick up hot chicks or something. No, that's just you. So, what is it like to be a part-time security guard? Let me tell you, it's tough. Well, you know me. I get by alright, I guess. First, I had to keep my eyes on those monitors all the time.
Monitors?
There are security cameras set in each room around the building. It's really hard. Sometimes I feel like my eyes are gonna fall out.
Oh.
And if I see something suspicious, I have to contact one of the teams.
What teams?
The security teams for this company. They're supposedly the best in the business. But I'm no amateur either, so if it's something small, I don't bother calling them. So in other words, you basically watch TV screens all day long. You were in this office when the murder took place, weren't you? Why do you say that? This is just a part-time job for me, and I can't operate the equipment, and I'm dumb. Okay, Larry. Even if it is part-time and you are dumb, you're still in charge of security here. Oh. Hey, give me a break! Don't try to pin the whole thing on me! That's no fair, Nick! Huh?
I don't think you can expect someone like him to take any responsibility.
Anyway, the point is that you were here that night, right? Uh-oh. Oh no, Larry. Oh no, I knew something smelled bad. And it was the butts after all. Well, it's like I always say. That was then and this is now, okay? Looks like I'm gonna have to break his psyche locks after all. Oh boy, fine. Let's try it. Let's see what we need. Larry did it. Larry, no! The night of the crime. On the night of the crime, were you working hard like you were supposed to? What? Huh? Of course I was. Why wouldn't I have been? But didn't you sneak out of work just yesterday to go see Miss Delight? But that was that, and this is this. Is there any chance that you snuck out of work last night too? Never! I didn't sneak out. I'll tell you what, I'll even bet you $1. $1? Wow, now that's confidence. What's with that drenched in the rain puppy look on your face? Do you have any evidence that I left my position, or are you just pulling my chain? The evidence that Larry was not manning his station when the murder happened is... You found the key card? This is the key card to the CEO's office, right? Yeah, that's right. This key card was found inside a wallet. This wallet, you know about this, right? I've never seen that before. Liar, you hand-delivered this wallet to Miss Delight just yesterday. Give me a break. You can't expect me to remember every little thing that happens. Well, I do expect you to remember something that happened just yesterday. What time was it when you found this wallet? I guess it was around 1 in the morning on the first floor of our company building. 1 o'clock in the morning? That's right. In other words, Larry, at the time of the murder, you were away from the security guard office. Were you murdering? Yeah, but there's something you didn't know about. And what's that? My shift that day didn't start until 10 p.m. The murderer might have snuck in before then. What do you mean by that? If the murderer had snuck in before 10 p.m., then it wasn't my fault. It was the fault of the guy whose shift was before mine. Why do I have the feeling that he still doesn't get the seriousness of this? Listen up, Larry. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the killer snuck into the CEO's office after 10 p.m. during your shift. Yeah, because it's used... Larry, when you use this card, does it leave a record? Yeah, it does. But I can't just show the record to just anyone, you know. We have the record. The keycard data was already made public in the trial today. What? I didn't know that. Any kind of request for info like that is supposed to go through me. Boy, does that sound a bit arrogant coming from a part-time guard. Anyway, according to the data, the door to the CEO's office was opened with this card. Furthermore, it was most definitely used at 1 a.m. the time of the murder. No way. Yes, someone used this to get into the CEO's office. That happened at 1 a.m. on the night of the crime, right in the middle of your shift. Oh, Larry, you can't duck your responsibility this time. No. Got him. Boom. Oh, I knew it. It's all my fault. It's my fault that the boss was killed. My fault. Oh, and I will be right back in just a moment. We're gonna take a quick break. We broke his heart. Shattered it. Be right back, gamers. Hello, I'm back. Hello. Boo. It's not my fault that the boss was killed. It's my fault that the boss was killed. My fault.
Larry.
There was nothing I could do. I have important issues to deal with too, man. What happened that night anyway? My Donna happened.
Huh? Your Donna?
I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, my Donna called and said, I have to talk to you right away. So I went to see her and he was standing right there next to her.
Who was?
Her new boyfriend! It was like some horrible joke. And before I knew what was going on, the guy socked me right in the kisser. Normally, I'm the one that does the punching. Isn't that right, Maya? Maya barely knows you, dude. I think you've met like once.
Yeah.
So, is that why you left the security guard office? I'm sorry. It's all my fault. How can I ever make it up for it, Nick? What can I do? What? Oh. Well, a guy's dead because of you, Larry, so good job.
He's curled up on the floor crying like a baby.
Nick! Is there anything I can do? Anything? Just name it. I'll do whatever I have to make up for it. I swear I will. Larry...
Hey Nick, as long as he's offering, why don't you show him the evidence we've got?
She's right. Maybe we'll get at least one bit of useful information from him. Nick... oh, we wanted to learn about the buzzer. I'm pretty sure. Maybe her new boyfriend is the killer.
The buzzer is in the CEO... The buzzer in the CEO's office is directly connected to this room, right?
That's right! Just like my heart is connected to yours, Maya, leave her alone. You leave Maya alone right now, Larry. Get away from her.
Huh?
Go ahead, Maya. Press the buzzer in your heart. I promise I'll come running to your rescue like the professional guard I am.
Wow, that was pretty good.
Thanks, I try. Do you think you could tell us about the buzzer now?
Yes, please tell us.
Okay, I guess so. Prepare to be wowed. Okay. Just tell me about the buzzer, please.
I accidentally pressed the buzzer earlier.
Yeah, I heard it. So that was you, huh? You're a security guard, aren't you? Why didn't you come to the CEO's office? Well, this is the third floor of the basement. The CEO's office is on the first floor. I thought it would be a good idea to, adopt a wait-and-see approach. Plus, there's police detective here, right? I just didn't think it was necessary. It's as if he's trying to win an award for the laziest person on the planet.
Let's get back to talking about the night of the murder, okay? Is it true that the buzzer didn't go off that night?
There must be a record, right? You must have had a look at it, right? Of course I did! And I couldn't possibly have made a mistake either.
I think you could take just one more look for me. Pretty please.
Oh, okay. I just can't say no to you, Maya.
What do you think, Nick?
He's probably right. I don't think even Larry can make a mistake like that. What? Oh, God. What is it? What's wrong? I made a mistake! Huh? But how? It can't be! It's impossible! Okay, enough already. What about the records? That night, it went off just once. In the morning, at around 1 a.m.
1 a.m.? But that's when the murder happened!
Really? Are you serious? That's terrible. It can't be. I can't believe Larry's literally the reason a guy is dead. He may not have been the killer, but he's definitely the reason a man is dead. Oh my God.
The Treasures of Karayan exhibit is all ruined now.
Maya, I'm sorry, it's just so sad.
This was our big chance for everyone to learn about spirit channeling.
Maybe I can cheer her up somehow? Well, now that we've got the sacred urn back, maybe they can reopen it?
Really?
Sure, maybe we can label it the Urn of Master Mask's Desires. That would probably attract a lot of attention.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa! That's brilliant, Nick! We could clean it up and be filthy rich. Woohoo!
Wow, that was surprisingly easy. Alright. Oh, it's you, Mr. Wright. Hey, Miss Andrews. What's she still hanging around down here for? How's it going? What about the sacred urn? The urn? Oh, that. It's already been taken care of.
What do you mean, oh, that?
Taken care of? Do you mean it's been found?
Yeah. It was brought in during the trial today.
Wow, really? You really are the greatest, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright had nothing to do with it. It was Master Mask's wife that found it.
Well, anyway, I'm so relieved. I just heard all about it on the news. But you didn't know that we recovered the urn? So the detective was actually the thief all along. Looks that way right now. It's my fault. I'm the one who ended up hiring Damas to guard the treasures. Don't blame yourself, you were just doing your job.
Hey, Nick, if she wants to apologize, you should let her. So, when was it that you hired Detective Atme again?
About 20 days ago. And when was it that Master Mask's calling card arrived? That was about 10 days ago. So he sent a calling card to the very place he was hired to guard?
Guess that's it then. Detective Atme must have really wanted the sacred urn after all.
Guess so. What? So Master Mask murdered someone as well? Well, that's how things look right now. Yes, but I thought that he was here stealing the urn at the time. Well, we're talking about a criminal mastermind, so anything's possible.
Nick, let's get down to business already. On the night of the theft, did you notice anything suspicious about Detective Atme?
No, I couldn't have.
After all, he was hidden the entire time. I never even caught a glimpse of him.
He claims that that's the way he always operates.
That's just what he says, so he can have an alibi when he commits the thefts himself.
Yeah, he was caught in the crime scene photo dressed up as mask to mask pretty well.
I'm so glad that you got your secret urn back.
Yeah, but there's still something that bothers me about it.
What is it?
I'm not exactly sure, but somehow the urn that came back seems different.
Really? You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Miss Andrews?
No, I don't know anything. Why would I? Uh-oh. Oh, Miss Andrews. Not again. Psyche locks. Aw.
What do you think this means, Nick?
It means she's a dirty liar. It means the person that holds the secret to the mystery of the sacred urn is our very own Miss Andrews. Alright, let's see what we need. The sacred urn. Miss Andrews, do you know anything about the sacred urn? Do I know anything? I'm in charge of the entire treasure exhibit. The urn that was submitted before the court today. It's obviously not the same urn as before.
Well, that's true.
Maybe it isn't the same.
It could be a fake.
A fake? Oh, she messed something up when fixing it, didn't she? I can't believe I'm breaking her heart again. You're the one who said it wasn't the same, so that's the most obvious explanation. Do you have any evidence that the urn was submitted at the trial was genuine? No. No, I do not. I guess we'll come back later. See you later. I don't think I have enough evidence yet. I should investigate and gather some more clues before I try again. Really don't think I have any proof. Alright, see you later. Ah! Mr. Wright!
Mr. Delight, did they finish their interrogation?
Yes, but please don't leave me alone anymore! Mr. Delight, you lied to us before, didn't you?
Well, you see...
On the same night the sacred urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor department store, a blackmail letter got summoned you to KB Security to hand over some money. And then that's where the CEO, Kane Bullard, was murdered. But there's only one Ron Delight, am I right? So the only question is, where were you that night? This time I want to hear the whole truth. Your life depends on it. Okay. Mr. Delight, do you still insist that you are mask to mask? Isn't that what I've been saying since yesterday? That was a quick response. Tell me about it. To be honest, it's starting to get irritating.
But, listen, Mr. Delight. At the trial today, we learned the true identity of the thief, didn't we?
Take a good look, everyone! Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. I guess it's true. I wasn't the one who stole that urn.
Of course not. After all, you were at KB Security at the time.
So then the person dressed up as mask to mask in this photo...
It's gotta be Detective Atney.
So... that night, you didn't go to Lordly Taylor, you went to KB Security, right? Yeah, I went to KB Security at the time the blackmail note said I should.
Alright, what happened next?
Well, I used to work there, so I knew where the CEO's office was. I knocked, but there was no answer. So then I used the key card to unlock the door. That's probably when he dropped his wallet. When I went into the CEO's office, someone was in there. Someone? Oh. Then suddenly they bashed me over the head. Bam!
Was it Kane Bullard that hit you?
I don't know. The person ran away while I was still stunned. When I came to my senses, the sight I saw left me speechless. Oh, ew. The dead body of the CEO was right there in front of me. I thought I'd die myself. Anyway, I thought I should do something with the body. So that's why you put it in the safe? Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, he stuffed the body in the safe. That's so messed up. I used to be the chief of one of the security teams, so I knew how to open it.
Okay, and what did you do after that?
Well, I got out of there for starters. I was the one who set up the security cameras in that building. So I knew how to avoid being spotted by them.
Nick, all of a sudden Mr. Delight kind of sounds like the murderer to me.
Please don't say that.
Mr. Delight, is it true that 1 year ago you were forced to quit KV security?
How did you... I'm begging you! Please don't tell Desi, please!
Don't worry, we haven't told anyone yet.
Phew! Oh, thank goodness. No, I mean, considering Miss Andrews mutilated the corpse, he should be fine hiding the body. You'll get off easy. They'll just give you like a small little fine and then send you on your way. Well, I suppose I'll have to tell her sometime. She'll find out eventually.
Why have you been hiding it from her anyway?
Desi would despise me if she ever found out I was living a life of crime. A criminal, a thief. She'd never forgive me. My marriage would be over.
Knowing that, why did you become a thief in the first place?
Well, because Desi spends money like it's water. There's no job in the world that could bring in enough money. Except being a thief. At least that's what I thought anyway. Nah, a slap on the wrist will tell him. So he became Master Mask for Desiree, huh? Interesting. I think we wanted to talk about, yeah. Because that looks like him in the background. Hey! This is an article about my debut heist! Boy, that was a tough one. Before I knew it, they were hot on my trail. But
Master Mask, he must have gotten away, right? It says in the article that he disappeared.
That's right, I got a sudden burst of inspiration. I hid my Master Mask costume in a nearby plastic bucket. Then I quickly changed to my security guard uniform. Pretty clever, eh?
Wow, awesome. Hey, hold the phone. The guard in this photo, is this you, Mr. Delight?
I mean, it looks a little like him. That's right. Nice trick if I do say so myself. Nice and easy to figure out. Even pearls could see through that in a heartbeat. About first heist, garden photo is Ron Delight. But as you might expect, Detective Atme found the disguise. He truly deserves the title of Ace Detective. Detective Atme found the Master Mask disguise? That's interesting. Yeah, I heard that he brought it home with him. So that's it. That's when Atme got his hands on this. Thanks to that, I got my chance to remake my costume.
That must have been really time-consuming, huh?
Yeah, it took quite a while to complete. Anyway, a few days after that, I received the first of the blackmail letters.
But blackmail letters?
You got them starting when? Tell me more, now! Hey, calm down. Don't get so worked up. Ooh, this is getting interesting.
This blackmail letter, is this the first one you got?
No, of course not. But this is the first one that ever called me out to a specific location. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yeah, just a few days after the Tears of Emanon heist. That first letter, it said, I know you did it.
So someone found out about your true identity? Just like that?
It's not easy being a master thief, you know. I've got proof that it was you, so give up, they went on to say. So in the end, I had to give up the treasure I went through all that trouble to steal. Is that right? Hey, hang on a second. What do you mean you had to give it up? Oh, don't worry. After I put the jewel in the safe deposit box, the letter specified someone sent me $10,000. No one said anything about me being worried, you know. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail.
The plans?
Weird.
What are these plans you're talking about?
Oh, they were instructions on how to steal a crown or painting or some other rare treasure. They showed security blind spots, escape routes, and even suggested training methods.
So you mean that the one who planned the heists wasn't you?
No, it wasn't. I only planned the very first one. After that, I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. I'm just interested in who wanted to buy the urn.
Sounds like Mr. Delight is thankful to the person that was blackmailing him.
So Ron Delight was mask to mask after all? But someone else is behind the thefts. Someone who planned them all out in detail. Ooh. All I had to do was deposit the treasures I stole into the safe deposit box. Then I just waited for the cash. Then I just waited for the cash to come in the mail. Did you try not to look so gleeful about it?
So you went after the sacred urn because of those plans too?
Well, see, truth is, I've never seen the urn. All I did was follow the instructions and steal what I was told to steal. Mr. Delight, is everything you've just told me now the truth? Yes, but please don't tell Desi, okay? Ron's testimony added to the court record. Ron, before we go, there's one more thing I want to ask you. Yes, but please don't hurt me. It feels like that one book where everyone is guilty of something. Mr. Kane Bullard, do you swear that it wasn't you who killed him? Yes, of course. I could never. I'm not lying. All I did was hide his body in the safe. All I did was stab him and murder him. But then I was afraid they'd discover what I did, so I turned myself in yesterday.
Why?
Well, if the judge had ruled that I was guilty of robbery, then I'd have an alibi, right? There we go. There it is.
I guess so, but you're really clever, Mr. Delight.
I guess I have no choice but to take Mr. Delight at his word.
Mystic Maya! Hey! Pearly! I'm back!
Hey, Pearl. So, what have you been up to this whole time?
The sacred urn, Mr. Nick. I took it back to Crime Village to have it examined. And? What'd you find out?
Well, there's no need to worry. They said it's the real urn. Phew!
That's a relief. I was really worried. But there's one small problem.
Problem?
These cute little pink splotches, they said that it's paint, and that they were put on the urn recently.
Why are we talking about the pink splotches again? What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? We've got to find out how they got there. That's the big deal. Yeah, Mr. Nick, we got to find out how they got there.
Okay. We'll go find out how they got there. Please don't forget about me. Found in Abby's office, covered in pink splotches, but it's the genuine article. Okay, well, we got our proof. Let's go shove it in Adrian's face. Oh, Miss Andrews spilled the paint on it. That's my guess anyway. Oh, yeah, probably. Alright, Miss Andrews. October 13th, Lord Lee Taylor, basement warehouse.
Oh, Pearl. How nice to see you. Hello there.
I haven't seen you around lately. What have you been up to?
Well, actually, I was having this urn examined.
Oh, I see. Maybe if we take another good look at this urn, we can figure out the mystery of what actually happened here.
Nick, let's look around one more time.
Okay, let's look around. This box, there's something about it that's been bothering me.
That's the box the sacred urn was in.
It looks like there's some pink paint on it, too.
And it's definitely the same color as the stuff on the urn.
I think I know how the paint got on it now.
Alright, let's investigate again, Nick.
A wooden box that has had the sacred urn in it has pink paint stains on it.
Detective Atney said he got hit in the back of the head with this by the thief.
That was obviously a lie, so he just broke it just for signs of a struggle. That's so messed up. Because it turned out that Atney was the real thief, it's still hard to believe. It looks like Adrian feels really bad about it. I'm gonna take full responsibility and fix that sword myself.
I know I don't look it, but I have complete confidence that I can fix it right up. I promise I'll fix it so you never knew it was bent in the first place. Please be gentle with it.
The statue wasn't where it is now when we first came here, right?
Yeah, it was right next to the door, wasn't it?
Well, if someone moved it, it was probably mask to mask.
Maybe he didn't like being watched by Mystic Ami while he stole the urn.
Hey, cut it out. Give me the creeps with that kind of talk. There's paint on the wall here. Looks like it's been dry for several days.
There's something suspicious about this paint mark. The bottom left part of it is shaped oddly and it's shocking pink. Mr. Nick, could it be that this odd shape is...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it.
Ah, that's the box the sacred urn was in!
If you look here, there's still a bit of paint on the box as well.
Wow, you're right. Look, it matches. What is it, Mr. Nick?
This is all turning out exactly as I thought it would. Paint mark is completely dry, the box of the sacred urn fits in the gap perfectly. I think it's all starting to become clear. We're that much closer to solving the mystery of what happened to the urn. Alright, I think we got you, Miss Andrews. Bam! We're taking you down! I can't believe you're the murderer! That'd be crazy if Miss Andrews turned out to be the murderer, after we just got her off from the last time. Yeah, we did all this. Okay, we have the real urn. We went to Crine Village, and it's real. Sorry to break it to you, but the urn is the genuine article. Pearls went back to Crine Village and had it examined. Is that right? That's nice, but I don't see how... What she discovered was that the urn had been broken again. Did you say again? Yeah, it was broken once a year ago. And now it looks like the same thing has happened. And quite recently, too. Recently? Are you saying that this urn was broken recently? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think it was broken recently? How do you know? Because it didn't look like this. What? Where's the thing? It looked like this, literally not that long ago. This poster, it was made recently, right? Poster? Ah, the poster for the exhibit. At the time when this photo was taken, the urn said, "I am" on it. But now, for some mysterious reason, it says Ami. When the urn was fixed, the letters were transposed. Ah! I am? What does that even mean? I don't know anything about that. They need to stop breaking this urn. It won't be keeping the ashes. It'll be ashes as well. I know. This poor urn. I wasn't even there when the photo for this poster was taken. That was a mistake. Now, tell the truth. Wait. Even if the urn was broken, I had nothing to do with it. Huh? Yes, that's it. It must have been one of those people at the photo shoot. They probably dropped it. I'm sure that's what happened. Looks like she's not gonna give up that last psyche lock so easily. Do you have any proof that the urn was broken here at Lordly Taylor? Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, Miss Andrews? What is this supposed to mean? There's pink paint all over this urn. And there's pink paint all over the floor. And walls of this basement warehouse. In other words, this urn was broken here. You can't weasel out of this one, Miss Andrews. But... Uh-oh. She's trying to make her escape. But you can get pink paint anywhere. Oh, that's none in my office, that's for sure. Well, there is in my room. Liar. Anyway, the paint on the urn and the paint on the floor. There's no proof that it's the same paint. Come on, this is getting ridiculous. The proof linking the paint to the urn, to the paint on the floor is the box. The box has it on it. This urn was stored in this, right? Yes, that's right. Well, there's pink paint on this box as well. I think you already know where I'm going with this, don't you? Yes, more or less. The paint on the floor has an odd shape imprinted in it, doesn't it? Yes. if you put this box into the impression in the paint, you could see it fits perfectly. Which means this box was dropped right over there. Miss Andrews gets kicked out of being accused of being a criminal. And that is when the urn was broken. Your name does you justice, Mr. Wright. He's always right. I'm so sorry. I was the one who broke the urn. Boy, does this make me feel like some sort of evil school teacher. I'm a terrible person. Not only did I break it, but I tried to hide what I did.
Well, that's not so hard to understand. Is it, Pearly?
No, not at all. I know just how she feels.
It happened about 2 weeks ago. Just after the poster photo was taken on the same day the urn arrived here. I thought I'd put it away down here for safekeeping. I was carrying it in the box. Oh, oh, oh. And when I tripped on the paint can and lost my balance, the box I was carrying crashed to the ground. Oh, I heard a terrible noise and I thought my heart was going to stop. Fearing the worst, I opened the lid of the box and that's when it happened. The broken pieces of the urn fell out of the box and landed right in the paint. I was in shock and let out a huge scream. Miss Andrews and Pearl should be bestie now.
OMG, Miss Andrews. We're like totally the same, you and me. I can totally see how that could have happened.
Yeah, as clumsy as she is, I'm sure Maya understands. Well, I knew it was the most important treasure in all of Karine Village, so I tried as hard as I could to fix it. Fortunately, the shards were pretty big.
That's when the I am got changed to Ami.
I didn't know how it was originally written, but any sane person fixing it would have assumed it said Ami. Oh, Pearl.
Any sane person? Really?
Oh, Pearls. Yes, we know she broke it originally. She said she wasn't very good at spelling. Anyway, I put the urn into the storeroom and no one had seen it since then. Broken and repaired by Adrian 2 weeks ago, then replaced in its box, kept out of sight. Sacred urn updated in court record.
But there's something I don't get. When we first came here, I didn't see any paint stains.
Well, that's because it was so ugly and embarrassing. I used the golden statue to cover it. The Ami face statue, uh-huh. The first time that we came down here, it was on the night that the sacred urn was stolen.
But Mr. Nick, there were no paint marks on the walls or floor of the warehouse when we got here.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. And I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I see. Now it makes perfect sense.
But there's still one thing I find strange.
What is it, Pearl?
The day after the urn was stolen, we came here again. At that time, the statue had been moved, and the paint was clearly visible.
She's right about that. Well, Miss Andrews? What? I don't know anything about that. I placed it there to cover up the paint, so why would I move it again?
Well, then who was it? And who would have done it? Why?
On the day before the theft, the statue was definitely closer to the door. Then the next day it was moved, but why? Carried into the basement warehouse the day of the crime, moved again that night. It looks like there's some connection between the sacred urn and the murder case. Why? Why do you think so, Nick? Because that night, the real thief, Ron Delight, was at KB Security. So then why did another Mask the Mask show up here? A lot of different things are pointing to one undeniable fact.
One undeniable fact?
The murder trial is starting tomorrow, but it looks like that thief is going to be making another appearance. Ooh. To be continued.
Things are getting spicy in here.
save your progress up to that point. Yes. October 14th, 9:41 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. I have a theory on who the thief is. Yes.
Hey, Nick.
What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial.
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
His wife. Next door?
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmy's trial today.
Detective Atmy?
They say they're gonna try him as mask to mask.
Already? That was fast. He says that as if murder trials literally don't happen the next day.
Boy, I'd love to see Mask to Mask's trial.
I know. By the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore.
I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Who is that? Why is it red?
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Oh, okay. Please don't ignore me! Okay, I was like, I thought it was Ron, but I'm like, why is his text red? That's scary. Who is this monster?
Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning.
No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone. Oh my god.
Come on, don't be silly. Oh, wait a sec.
You don't mean you're the murderer? No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists.
Do you really think that there's a connection between a thief and the murder, Nick?
It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option. Ooh. October 14th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 6. Interesting. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. It's Godot, he's back. Okay, settle down, everyone. No. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. Oh, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand, yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. You leave him alone, Judge. He can say what he wants. Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. Okay. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness. Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. Oh my god, I love him so much. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but... I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. I have a feeling Godot was a prosecutor before, but he changed his identity after some tragic backstory. Interesting. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. You've got guts, Wright. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. You did it, didn't you? Yes. What? No, that's not true. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever. Did you kill that man? Yeah. Alright, case closed.
Oh, well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why'd you go to KB Security?
Well, That's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home.
Plot twist, he's Miles Edgeworth's dad, and after coming back from the dead, he became a prosecutor.
No! Gregory Edgeworth! It's you!
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. My visit to KB Security.
That evening around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got had ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. It's bitter today, too. Just like my destiny. My destiny!
You never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. Alright. And ordered you there?
It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then?
Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this, or take that.
Why did you save these for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? So, what did the blackmail letter in question say?
It said, bring $50,000.
Money, eh? Perfect motive for committing murder.
Oh, but wait! Oh, I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Oh? Is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
A muddy mudskipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do.
The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything.
Oh, I think it was. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right?
Yeah, that's right.
A security chief? You? You loser? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge. Perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject? Why were you fired? Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well...
The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, then I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question.
Well, I needed money.
You needed money?
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick?
Maya, you literally steal his money all the time.
My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company.
Come again?
KB Security has a lot of security info in all sorts of companies, and since I was a security team chief...
You stole some data and sold it. Maya's a huge hypocrite.
Well, Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately.
What? I wish I had never asked that.
I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you.
So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. No. I was like, now that he said that, I'm wondering if this blackmail letter was gonna cause him some trouble with Desiree. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match with what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't?
I think you must have been scared.
Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. Listen to me, my Desi, she's... Looks like I just sit back and relax. The fun will end before it truly begins. Godot, how are you so cool and pretty? Yeah, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh. Oh, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry! Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly, there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. Ugh. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. At the CEO's office.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. Wearing what? When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. I wonder who that is. Totally inconspicuous shadow. I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Master Mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. No one's gonna believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked! We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Phoenix, you gotta stop having complete faith in your clients. Remember what happened last time you had complete faith in your client? Wearing what? That? Could you please clarify what you are referring to? Why my Master Mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment. Mask Damask? Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Mask. And then, I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security. What? His previous client was innocent, though? his previous client was innocent? Sure.
Nick, did you know about this? You never told me this.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. All he did was hire an assassin, yeah. That's all he did. Yup. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? My sixth cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony. I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mask costume. Why were you dressed up as Master Mask? Why? Because I'm Master Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door. Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I'd expected. Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. This is not gonna help your case, bub. My cape got caught in the safe door, you see? This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. Okay. Yeah, what was that? Back up a second. Yeah? You were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable! That means you're the murderer. Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. I don't know why that line was funny. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. What do you mean? Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? So you're not as stupid as you look. His metaphor this time was really obscure. It made no sense. I can't believe he was wearing the victim's flesh. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yeah. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to your testimony. Yes, sir. Uh-oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. That's weird. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? And what might that be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. What? If Mr. Ron Delight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way. Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there was a security personnel in the building. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. Ooh. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That doesn't matter. That was nothing more than a coincidence. Yeah, that doesn't matter. That the guard never came. He still would have assumed a guard was coming. That's why he would have ran. That is nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known. Mr. Wright, why do you seem to have this grudge against this unnamed guard? Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. It's loud. It's loud as hell. Larry getting roasted right now. This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? Oh, what do you mean by that? Fine. Let's hear your theory. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted? Larry getting roasted right. That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it could only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer. Boom! Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is preposterous. It was this kid, Ron Delight. He is the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. Ugh. So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? It didn't happen. I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Yes, because there's no fingerprints on it. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Bum 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 bum. Oh, no fingerprints. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. No, I'm the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. Ron Delight obviously wiped them off. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. And also, why would he have pressed the button in the first place? He touched that button. I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? That was a clown. Don't you talk about my husband like that. Order, order, order! It would seem. I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend number crow-flavored coffee is.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency button? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What was this awkward silence all of a sudden? Looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
They're on to you, Nick.
Just give me a moment to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed.
Security was supposed to respond? Maybe the ace detective is Donna's boyfriend. Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well, then. You've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. I thought he was gonna say in a man. I like that in a man. You wanna go out sometime, Mr. Wright? Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? They didn't mean to call the security guard to find out what it did. Probably to call the security guard so it looked like Ron had killed the victim. It was a setup. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yeah. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up.
Maybe because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Don't say that again, Maya. What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, that's not at all what I'm saying. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron DeLight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer. I wonder whose silhouette that is. 'Tis a mystery. 'Tis a mystery. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron DeLight. That shadow isn't subtle at all. No. And if the security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yeah, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron DeLight for the murder. That was awesome. Order, order, order. It would seem. I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask.
Nick, you mean the real killer is...
We're gonna drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. DeLight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron DeLight for the murder of Kane Bullard? I don't know. I have no idea, Judge. Maybe the person whose obvious silhouette has been shown to us countless times. Detective, look at me. He's the only one who could have done it. He's detective. Look at me? You mean Master Mask did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard. Boom! Order! Order! But Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder. Which is more serious crime? Oh, they're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. Oh my god. Just outright saying it, huh? Please remember the trial from yesterday if you would. When Luke at me confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, famous detective was unmasked as well. Master Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty? Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atmey's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict? As an alibi? That's ridiculous. Who would ever do such a thing? You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Atmey's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're gonna stop this trial and install that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Luke Abbey's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight will be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this? That's only good when your life's the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight?
So please, I'm begging you.
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Uh-oh. Hold on. One moment.
Phoenix.
What was that? I wonder. Are you gonna turn to your right and see your assistant spirit channeling Mia Fey? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice sounds like Mia. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. The dog did it. So that's your answer, huh? Oh, I guess I thought he was gonna turn to his right and see Mia, or Maya channeling Mia. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atme to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. October 14th, 11:58 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 5. Oh my god.
Well, Sir Detective Atme.
I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly.
Oh no, Sir Detective Atme, you were the one who...
Oh. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant, Luke Atme. Hold it!
Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please! Well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom.
Who's this hoser, eh? My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atme.
Accusation? You mean Master Mask?
That man is not Master Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Why is this judge so weird? You know, maybe I do prefer our judge. To be continued. I don't remember the voice I did for Luke Atme. I really don't. At all. So we're gonna go with something new, I guess.
My sis? What? You spoke to my sister? That's crazy. You've never done that before.
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. This has happened before. This has happened before. You've heard her voice before. It's not new.
So then, she's still alive
inside your heart. Maya!
Nicky boy!
Oh, Miss Delight. Is it true that detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he's the only one who could have done it.
But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill King Bullard?
Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gonna happen sooner rather than later. I like how we didn't get to see who the defense attorney was in that trial. I'm gonna assume that there just wasn't any. The only defense attorney ever is Phoenix Wright. It must be Desiree who was the mask that night because she was the one who found the urn in the killer's bag. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atme, please take the stand.
Well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer?
I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly.
I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet.
Not when it would have
given you your perfect alibi.
An alibi by the name of Mask the Mask. I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning.
I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what's going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask to Mask?
Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example.
So you continue to insist that you are in fact Mask to Mask?
Of course.
Very well then. Look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time?
One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge.
Thanks? Alright, Mr. Atme. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears.
As you wish, Sir Prosecutor.
The alibi.
I was stealing the urn as Master Mash, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder.
It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret into this picture as well.
Even the great Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive.
Unfortunately, Mr. Atme, we still have to do your cross-examination.
A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool.
Hey! Don't come for my wife, Miss Von Karma's language. Only she can say that word.
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
The only thing that's full of it is his alibi.
That's Von Karma's thing.
Only she can say it. She makes it work. Alright. About the camera that took this photograph.
Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you?
I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious.
So this alibi is false?
It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either Master Mask in the photo is fake, or the photo itself is. He says he's so clever, but everything he does is practically copied from other people. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point.
That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
Indeed, there was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target.
I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Atme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Is that correct?
Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime? Surely even you can understand by now. Lordly Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? Yeah, actually, there is. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. Yep. What is it? Where's the picture? Let me look at it again. Because I actually don't know. I just said yeah. Oh! That's why they made a big deal about the statue earlier. The statue wasn't there. You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. There's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? The paint spill. We shouldn't be able to see it. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain! No. Ah! Blood! Now this case is getting interesting. So he's a murderer as well. Not exactly. That stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? Amife. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there.
Objection!
But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally? Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why the statue was moved that night?
Can you do it, Nick?
Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? Probably Luke at me. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke at me. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. I was born with them. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? A reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move the statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. It can? Look at me, you pretended to be mask to mask, to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like a cheap film at a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? The time? Naturally, the lie is in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was this statue placed beside the warehouse door? Oh, well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. It was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Oh! So on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there. What was that? That was such a strange metaphor. Had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in this photo. Ah! Order, order! Mr. Atme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage the data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Order, order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. You don't tell him what to do, Judge. My 11th cup. I promise to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point. So what? We are all but travelers on a world of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. It's so wild to see the judge, like, a bit more on my side and actually getting upset with the prosecutor for once. It's crazy. Usually he's all like, oh yes, sir prosecutor, anything you say. But with Godot, he's just so fed up with Godot. It's awesome. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time? And that the statue was moved in order to make it match? That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Which is... that it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions as Master Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plans to steal the Sacred Urn. The Sacred Urn heist. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zavari it was sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. And I handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. It's my all important badge, shows I'm a defense attorney, a present from my house, carried into the basement warehouse the day of the crime, moved again that night. Sent before the heist, the emblem is top secret. To the security at Lordly Taylor, I'll be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display in your Treasure of Kharine's exhibit. Take good care of this speckled urn, won't you? Yours truly, Master Mask. Okay, I got him. I got it. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? I got him. Zavari. Very well then, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. I got him. I got him.
I figured you out, you fake Master Mask.
Mr. Atme, if you really are Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of that speckled urn. Now the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there's no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on this urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. Jeez, Phoenix, don't need to roast Adrian Andrews, that's so mean. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Ugh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was being taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken.
Nick? I think it's a little early for a victory pose.
Huh? It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask, and now we're calling him a murderer. Godot, stop being sexy. You don't tell him what to do. He can be as sexy as he wants all the time. Now you're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way. Don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Luke Atme was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Now let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Might you, my merry murderous motive, manifest?
Nick, he's getting his second wind.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed, according to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer. You're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. It's so crazy. And in like this universe, say like suspect 1 is on the defense, and they bring in they bring in evidence of the murder being filmed of suspect B stabbing someone, you know? And it's like clearly shows the murder. And then the prosecutor and the judge would be like, okay, sure. So you got video evidence of this person actually committing the murder. But suspect A has more motive to do it. So I think suspect B is innocent. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Luke Atme had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask the Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Mask the Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. Yeah, it's so silly. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant? This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. Okay, but how did Luke Atme know about this? He was literally in the room next over when we talked about it. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? The prosecutor, Your Honor, the security footage is AI. Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. How did he know about the blackmail letter? That's weird. How did you know about it? Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Okay, I was going a different direction about him not knowing about it. Maybe he did know about it, I don't know. But I guess I was right. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to the KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th and bring $50,000. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. Oh, yeah. The gem of the thief. Oh, it was a blue diamond. Hi, Matt. Hi. I'm late. It's late. I'm just popping in. Hi, Matt. How are you? How are you doing? Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? I seem to have a trend of falling asleep to cat streams, so I thought this would help me snooze. That's awesome. Which isn't a bad thing. It means you're calming enough to sleep too. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I'm awesome. I'm like a sleep aid, which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that Mask the Mask stole at all. And your point is, Mr. Trite, so you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick?
Yeah. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. Look at me, he's got a red diamond on his ring. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have any sort of basis for that claim? But yeah, I totally woke up morning to my phone dead in my hand. You've been personally involved in every single Mask to Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Ah! Oh, snap. Order in the court. Order, I say? It seems gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Uh-oh, I don't like the way you said that. Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke at me. Are you for real? Oh, I'm for real. Yes, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him. Just because he's kind of hot.
Then answer me. This. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmey's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? Atmey killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was his identity he wanted to keep secret? No man that drinks black coffee is fucked. Okay, Matt, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. Look at his little profile. That is hot. That is a hot man right there. His age unknown, he's shrouded in mystery. That is my husband right there. Beautiful, beautiful man.
That is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity that Luke Atmey wanted desperately to keep secret was his identity as an ace detective, master. Ooh, a blackmailer. Luke Atmey was a blackmailer. Because he was blackmailing Rhonda Light. Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atmey. Are you saying that Atmey was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
Well, you have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
This is my area. I work in a coffee shop. If they get black Americano, they are a red flag. But look at him. Oh, that's... I'm not gonna say anything. Not gonna say anything about red. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmey. But Rhonda Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? He looks like an ice-type trainer trying to cancel out the red. Yeah, just a few days after the Tears of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. A detailed plans? In which case that would mean that Rhonda Light was actually Master Mask. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. Anyways, this is the time. Good night.
Good night, Matt.
And that someone was none other than Luke Atmey. Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What is? Don't get killed. Phoenix can't avenge you, IRL.
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year.
Careless with the tendency to jump to conclusions, am I wrong? How did you? You say that I, Luke Atmey, was blackmailing Rhonda Light? In which case I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Rhonda Light started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. The newspaper clippings. During the first crime, how did Luke Atmey know that Rhonda Light was Master Mask? He found his clothes in the bin. We've gone through this. I went through this in my head. I figured it out. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief, trying to be the center of attention. Ooh, snap. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear in thin air. He took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Rhonda Light.
What the? Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask?
Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective.
I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer.
What a fraud! Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Why, how dare you expose me like that? I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Well, why you? Could never fall to such lowly dust. Why not try something which sells you? Big mouth of yours, you fools, fools. I say none of you can compare to my genius. You're just jealous, so go on. Desecrate me, commemorate me. There's nothing an ace detective cannot handle. Blackmail, murder, threats, all of it. It's enough to make one laugh. Okay. It seems we finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme.
Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atme. Oh. Is that cup 17? The hammer that strikes too fast is no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. Not your job. You're a prosecutor.
You don't get much more of you don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Wright. What do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atme was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor the night of the murder. That's right, that's why he's the one who killed Mr. But... There's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse of a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. Gotta prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night.
But can you really prove that?
That's long enough. Mr. Wright, I want to hear your answer. That night, Luke Atme was at KB security. And the defense... I don't think we have any proof. Uh-oh. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But, if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony... Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Luke Atme is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Master Mask. No.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that the love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Order in the court! That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then it'll be too late, yeah, because then he'll have his alibi.
Huh? Why?
Double jeopardy. Yep. Yeah. One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atme will be found guilty in a manner of minutes. Guilty as mask to mask, which means he'll be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned.
No way.
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atme's guilt of the crime here means that he'll never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer. What? Oh. Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer of Luke Atme will go free. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme. Dang. Oh! Oh! I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. Pfft, who's speaking? How did you... Oh, it's gotta be Mia. Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Mia! That voice. Yep. That voice. No way. I knew it. I knew he was gonna say that. Mia! Hey. Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia! Yay! This is the true power of the Karine channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. You may remember her from the previous trial. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine... Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but... Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Oh, well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mass. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that alright with you, prosecutor? Ooh. Is something the matter, Mr. Godot? Nothing. Ooh. Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods would do anything to me, Luke at... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true, the witness has made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Ooh. Mr. Godot, what are you... Very well then. Mr. Luke Atme. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. I like how Mia just sits around. She knew all of that, so that means she's been just sitting as a spirit in this courtroom, listening. Mia, don't you have better things to do than sit around in court all day? You're dead. You don't have to worry about all this anymore. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was informed me that the true culprit was Rhonda Light. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter, the victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavari. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer. Dead or alive. This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. No, it doesn't! If anything, it makes him look super suspicious. How did he know all of that? The witness's earlier marks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. Yes, they do! But of course, how did he know about the Master that Ron Delight was wearing the Master Mask outfit? But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? And the emergency buzzer, yeah. The police investigation documents went directly through me, and I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, sir lawyer. Ugh. You're gonna make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer. I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Luke Atmey's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a sec, just one chance. Save, you idiot. Seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Cup number 17. The last cup. Seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in its testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. It's the thing about him wearing the costume. We discovered that in court. Very well then. Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. He was in the next room over. There's no way he could have known that Ron Delight was wearing the Master Mask costume. He said that literally like 10 minutes ago. For the first time ever. Everyone was like super surprised about it. Mr. Atmey, about this last remark.
Objection.
You still don't get it, do you, Trey? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atmey, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atmey? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. Is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Has it been hours? Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with his cold stare. Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. That's right, the defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atmey? There is no way that you should have known about that. Ah! You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then, enlighten us. Just how did you know that piece of information? Well... Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And if those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one way, you say?
Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker, so there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atme. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Bam! Wow, that's crazy! He was the silhouette all along? Detective Atme, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Holy crap, who could have known? 'Tis a mystery. What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atme tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan, to use that double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict. I know. You never committed any murder. That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Master Mask! Uh-huh. So, was that trial yesterday? I'm innocent now, right? What was you said? Double jeopardy? Now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rules of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was found once innocent. Then, Master Mask is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now? Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Yay. Yay. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all. October 14th, 3:35 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. Hey, Mia! Hey, how you going? How's it going? You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia! It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the crime channeling school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Bye, Mia. Oh, Mia. Ah, Mr. Wright! I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all of this has happened. Come on, just be happy already. Maya, hey. Even cleared of the murder charges and got off as mask to boot. You shouldn't know this. You just came out of channeling Mia. You shouldn't know that. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming mask to mask. I did it all for one reason. For her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that. But once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. Oh, I thought she would leave me for sure. Yeah, one sec. Okay. No, so that's why he became mask to mask? Yeah, but it's all over now. The broken bowl can never be put back together!
That's not true, right, Nick?
Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
I can? I kind of wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. Just like this urn. The sacred urn? Desi was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have anything to worry. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Miss Delight. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you?
Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on?
I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really mask to mask either. Miss Delight, what are you gonna do now that you know? You're not really gonna leave him, are you? Oh, come on. It's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. I love her so much. But didn't you say that you hated criminals?
Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky.
Like that detective. I see.
My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them like a man.
I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi. Aw. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy? Yeah? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going red.
Mr. Nick! Mr. Maya! Congratulations!
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, how could you with another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya?
No, you got it all wrong.
I'll never forgive you. Never, ever.
So, just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Aww. Aww, that's so cute. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. Aww. Yay! We beat episode 2. Let's start episode 3 before we continue. Before we end stream. Recipe for turnabout. Ooh. Maya's got a new outfit. Oh. Oh, that's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me. Ooh. The evidence and testimony we have seen and heard are conclusive. The victim was alone at his table when he drank from that poisoned cup of coffee. No, you're wrong. I know what I saw. I saw. Ooh. Ooh. I saw someone else there. A man. He's the real killer. Ooh. With Phoenix Wright? Whoa. Whoa. Why won't anyone believe me? Oh god, this guy.
Well, I'd say that pretty much wraps this case up, wouldn't you?
Mr. Wright? Whoa. This court finds the defendant guilty. This court is adjourned. Whoa. I always knew Phoenix was a cold-hearted killer. Whoa. Interesting. January 6th, 10:03 a.m.
Ah, the start of the new year always makes me feel like I could take on the whole world.
And I can't wait to take it on next time, Maya. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was a crazy opening cutscene. There we go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've had a blast. I'm gonna send you on over with a raid. It's been fun. I've had fun. I'm a bit tired, so I'm gonna go lay down. I'll see you guys. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. It depends how things go. And definitely not Saturday. Maybe Sunday. We'll see. We'll see. So, maybe stream tomorrow, no stream Saturday, maybe one Sunday, but definitely one Monday. Thank you guys. Catch you later. I'm gonna send you over to the raid in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye!